Mabo, mabo, mabo nyame bofwe, mabo, media sumje na mabo, maba. Media sumje na mabo, mabo. I wish I had a bell or something to ring this morning. And then you would say, preach. My name is Benjamin Akako. These are my blunt thoughts, which I'm about to share with you, Ghana 4. And I've titled it today, Incompetence and Disrespect. How Ghana's misleadership rubs it in. Incompetence and disrespect. How Ghana's misleadership rubs it in. Ghana 4, the emperor has no clothes on. But here's the crucial question. Who's going to break the news to him? That analogy is from a children's storybook, by the way. A children's book published on April the 7th, 1837, and translated into about 100 languages. The book is a literary folktale written by Danish author Hans Christian Andersen, and I read it growing up. It's about a vain emperor who gets exposed before his subjects. Ask anyone who knows me, they'll tell you Ben is no pretender. What you see is what you get. But these misleaders of ours are as sneaky, snaky as they come. They say white when they actually mean black. Today, Ghana 4, I'd like to speak to you through some videos I'm going to be showing to you. And I'd like to start with this first video. Watch this.
That when these things happen and government acts, politics does not come into the matter at all.
Politics me
When I took the oath of office as president, I took the oath of office as president of every single individual in Ghana. Of all peoples in Ghana, all districts. And whether they voted for me or not, once I have taken the oath, I am the president of all the people. So, Togbe, you and your elders, I want the people here, you, beginning with you and the elders, to understand that when something like this happens and government acts, government is acting for Ghanaians, all Ghanaians. I came here because Ghanaians are having difficulties and are suffering. And it is my responsibility to try and help. Because if it's a question of counting who votes for me and who doesn't vote for me, I shouldn't be here, because you don't vote for me. But that is not my concern.
Mr. President started so well, and then it tapered off. Because, yes, you are president for all. Why did he have to bring in, and you don't vote for me? About 100,000 people plus vote for the MPP in the Volta region, though. The last election gave them their first seat in the Volta region, the Hohoi seat. But before I come back to you, let me get to this oath of office, because he referenced it himself. And it is instructive to take note of what the oath says. It says, I, the name of the person comes in, having been elected to the high office of President of the Republic of Ghana, do, in the name of the Almighty God, swear or solemnly affirm that I will be faithful and true to the Republic of Ghana, that I will at all times preserve, protect, defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, and that I dedicate myself to the service and well-being of the people, regardless of who they are, of the Republic of Ghana, and to do right to all manner of persons. All manner, regardless of who they are. The people of the Volta region fit into that category. The oath of office says all manner of people, not all manner of people who voted for me. Someone, please remind Mr. President of that. All manner of people, simple. I feel this was grossly miscalculated, even macabre humor. What was the need for that? It was like spitting in the faces of the people. About 15% of voters in the Ashanti region, especially those in the Zangos, vote for the NDC. But would the president dare go to that region and spew the same ignominious, demeaning rhetoric he poured forth on the already suffering people of the Volta region? I'm not trying to take sides. I'm just saying that, look, for me, I have sides from the Volta end, the OT end. I have sides from Mampong as well. So I fit in both circles. But would the president do that? Some other presidents in other jurisdictions cancel whatever they are doing, inclusive of vacations, invitations to swearing-in ceremonies, guest speakerships, name them, when occurrences like has happened with the spillage of the Akosombo Dam happen in their countries, not our president. And when he finally does, after 4 days or so, goes there, this is what he says, and people try to defend this. Chaligana for where the thing catch right, he passed rationalization. And this wouldn't be the first time. Remember when our president disrespected a chief and his people, especially, in the Volta region, telling them that, oh, you want an E-block and all of that, then go and put it up yourself. Go and put it up yourself. This is not the first time. There was that other chief who, for health reasons, couldn't stand when the national anthem was being sung. Dug at him. When the president's own daughter did it, that was fine. How soon we forget. Those are the very circumstances I am talking about. And it is becoming sickening, disheartening. But while we spew such pettiness, where our misleaders should focus on is getting destroyed. Enter the economy and our debt restructuring, which brings me to my next slide. Ghana's external debt is still that monster in the room. If you take a focus on our commercial creditors, you look at our proposal, the haircut on the principal, 30 to 40%. That is no small, haircut. Haircut on interests and coupons, not more than 5%. Maturity period, not more than 20 years. Next slide. But if you look at our target vis-a-vis the dynamics, the total external debt, 30 billion. The debt eligible for restructuring, 20 billion. That leaves a pitfall of about 10 billion. And the restructuring target, 10.5 billion. You ask yourself whether where we are headed is even safe. Looking at our external creditors, and what they have said in Reuters, among others, they have expressed their angst about this. This will stay with us for a long time, and it will bite us. Let's go to the next slide. If you look at our maturing Eurobonds between 2023 and 2026, over the next 3 years, the amounts to be paid, issuance year 2013, maturing year after 10 years, 2023, $148 million. For the 2021 to 2025 one, $525 million. And for the 2020 to 2026, $1.25 billion. Put all of that together, you're looking at $1.9 billion. The tail of the tape. That's the hurdle. Let's go to the next slide. We're going to have to scale. But if you look at SAME and look at the negative market response, Ghana's sovereign dollar bonds dropped sharply just this Tuesday after a government presentation of debt reworking scenarios that aimed at a haircut of 30 to 40% on the principal, disappointed investors. Which investor would be happy with this? But we dug ourselves into this pit ourselves. Our misleaders ensured that we got there. Now, some bonds fell to their lowest level in 3 months. Next slide. And this is where we find ourselves. But when it comes to all of this, you remember that Zambia has also had its woes and has taken a step ahead, been a step ahead in dealing with the situation. Zambia recently was giving us some advice directly to Ghana. Don't mistake it. They were giving Ghana advice, and this is what they had to say. This is Zambia's Minister of Finance and National Planning, Situmbeko Musokotwani. And pardon me if I murdered his name, but this is what Zambia is telling us. Get restrictive laws on debt accumulation. That is what they are saying. You can't just accumulate debt like we are doing. We claim there's a ceiling, but we go past it. We get money printed. We think we can fall on the central bank. This is where it has left us. Get restrictive laws on debt accumulation. And we put a law in parliament. This is Zambia, which tied my hands to say going forward, you can't be like those in the past. So we tried our hands for Parliament to have more power and restrictions on borrowing. Can we not do same in Ghana? It's not rocket science. The Zambians are doing it. The Zambians are no better than we are. The Black Star of Africa is not yet dead. But before I wrap everything up, I played for you the video of the president. Let's watch Hichilema, the Zambian president, on something he had to say or share in recent times about luxurious vehicles and all of that. I want to cap off my thoughts with that because while we talk about the failings of our economy, our leaders, misleaders, are living large. I want you to listen to this and tell me whether we can't really do what Hichilema talks about in Zambia.
Why are you using money to buy a VX for the mayor? That VX for the mayor can put toilets in all the markets in your constituents. Think along those lines. The mayor can still drive a nice car, but it doesn't have to be a VX. If you want to drive a VX, buy your own. Buy your own. Why do you want to pretend? You know that you cannot afford a VX. Why do you want to pretend? Because you are using taxpayers' money. Now you should pretend. But a decent Hilux double cab aircon, it's a fantastic vehicle. Why you want a VX? Why you want a car costing $200,000? When that $200,000 you can put toilets in all the markets in that constituency. Town clerk wants a VX, mayor wants a VX, deputy mayor wants a VX. Whose money are you using?
Whose money are you using? Which brings me to my next and final slide before I wrap up with my thoughts for you. Let's get to that final slide. He's talking about VX vehicles, V8s among others, that many of our misleaders are using. In 2021, the Finance Ministry asked Parliament to approve a $28 million loan from the National Investment Bank, the same bank that is in trouble now, to purchase 275 vehicles for MPs. They also presented a similar request for a $3.5 million car loan for members of the 8th Council of State. In 2023, the Comptroller and Accountant General's Department staff demanded Land Cruiser Prados instead of Toyota Camrys for official duties. Why? Because we've created a system where everyone feels entitled to luxury because they can leech on the taxpayers' money. So wouldn't it be more bra and tall Camry? It is not the taxpayers' money you use to ride V8s around. But we tolerate that in Ghana. Which is why I want to ask the misleaders of our day. How do you feel as MPs, ministers, presidents, vice presidents, when you go into communities and you are the only ones in luxurious vehicles and everyone else is either walking or using rickety vehicles? Do you not feel any pangs of guilt? I would. Does your conscience not prick you? Your conscience, does it not prick you? You see, instead of distributing wealth, our misleaders have become experts at cornering it and sharing it among themselves. For a long time, we have had one looting brigade after another. The economy of the typical African politician is always excellent, while that of the masses is always a turbulent struggle that requires real ingenuity to survive. It reminds me of that 1991 movie, OPM, Other People's Money, featuring Danny DeVito. Other people's money, state money, so let's use it. Today, we have all the malaises in our country, and yet, with all our resources, we are not solving them. Up to when will this happen? Ghana for food for thought on a Friday morning. I do these because I love Ghana, and I hope you love Ghana enough to see the writing on the wall. My name is Benjamin Akakpo. These are my blunt thoughts shared with you, raw, hot, unedited, undiluted. God bless Ghana and make her great and strong.